Melo Anthony done? Are his days in the NBA pretty much over? Well, if you think that, then you think that. But I think there's possibly a silver lining to this. With ESPN using the platform when Melo spoke this morning, they should use it as a petition to try to sign him into the NBA. And what I'm going to talk about today on the Lewis Basketball Network, there are two teams that popped into my head earlier as I was listening to Melo talk as to what teams, at the very least, could actually use Melo's services and possibly sign him. All that and more right here on You Already Know. As we say it, as we breathe it, as we live it in the air. You smell that? Do you smell that? It's the smell of another great video right here on the Lewis Basketball.
People give you ear, so I be sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in the concubines. Take off your coats.
Congratulations on landing on YouTube on the Lewis Basketball Network on this hot and humid Friday afternoon. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I hope everybody had a productive and very wonderful week. And right here, we are here to talk about basketball on the Lewis Basketball Network, because that is what we do on here. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming onto this channel, watching this video as I talk about this situation. So ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I already put a video out.
Surprised by Big Town, right? It went from, oh, this is the piece that we want, this is the piece that we need. Mind you, we've been talking for 3 years, 4 years. They were trying to get me to come to the Houston Rockets. And I finally went there. They finally said, okay, this is the piece that we need. So I get there, and I'm thinking everything is good. Like, I'm doing everything I got to do. I never missed a practice, did all my work. I was, real professional with everybody there. I don't think there's one person there that I could say that I wasn't a professional there. I did what I had to do, did my work. And then the 10th game come, I just didn't understand where that come from, right? I actually reached out to Daryl first. And said, can we talk about how can we make this better? What can we do to, to fix this? What can I do to fix this? But then he had in mind that he wanted to come talk to me too about releasing me and letting me go. So now, I didn't like how that went down.
This is 10 games in.
10 games in.
A 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA player. 10 games, and the Houston Rockets said goodbye to you. And from what my understanding was, and I want to make sure that I'm clear, you play a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, your now former team. Y'all lost that night on November 8th. You traveled to San Antonio to play the next game.
Yeah.
And you were informed on the trip to San Antonio. What exactly did Daryl Morey say to you when he met with you?
I was actually in San Antonio, in my room, getting ready for the game. And me and Daryl were supposed to speak that night because I had reached out to him previously about just a heads up me, like what's going on, let me know what I can do. Like, I'm here to help the team. Like, let me know what I got to do. But he had, he came in and he was just like, look, basically your service is no longer needed. And I'm like, hold up, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, nah, things just not working out. And you got to figure out something to do. I'm like, how the hell I'm going to figure something out to do? I got a game tomorrow. Nah, you're not going to suit up tomorrow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard Carmelo talk about the situation that happened with the Houston Rockets. And basically, like I said, he is feeling like he's blackballed out of the NBA, man. He just said that he just felt like that it's bigger than basketball now. It's beyond basketball. It's become politics. So what I will say is this. I said that I feel like there are two teams that I think should actually keep a radar and eye out for Carmelo Anthony if he were to be back on an NBA team. Hear me out on this. The Toronto Raptors, and the reason I say the Raptors is because they have a Scottie Pippen and Pascal Siakam. They have, again, a very scrappy guard, 5-time All-Star in Kyle Lowry. They have a very good defender and rebounder, Serge Ibaka. They have a Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Gasol, former Defensive Player of the Year. They have Fred VanVleet coming off the bench. They have a nice little sided team. And if you add Melo, that's another, 15 to 16 points per game, or 14 to 16 points per game. I think it would help the Raptors out, considering that they lost Kawhi Leonard. So I feel like they have to find some kind of suitable replacement, because I don't know as of yet if Pascal Siakam is going to even take that next step. Not saying that he's not capable, but I just don't know if he is going to as of yet. So, we have to wait and see. But I think that Melo should get a second chance with the Toronto Raptors. Now, I don't know if Masai Ujiri is going to pull the trigger and give him an opportunity. So we'll just have to wait and see. But my second team, ladies and gentlemen, and before I get to the second team, he'll be coached by Nick Nurse. Now, he was known, people have called him, a neophyte head coach, but hey, he got it done with Kawhi Leonard in the 1 year that they were together in his first year. And I think Melo will put it, he's humbled enough to know that now he needs to listen to coaching. And I think that Nick Nurse will be open arms to Coach Carmelo. And like I said, if Carmelo takes a slice of humble pie and fulfills his role, he'll be back in the NBA as long as he accepts it. That's the key. Like Chauncey Billups said, it's about taking that mental step, man, taking that next step mentally. Like if Melo wants to win, because he chose money over winning, as many people have said, and even he kind of said himself. He wanted to win, but remember, he chose the money, and he wanted to get it done in New York. So I understand that. But then, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, the second team that I think should really take a look at Carmelo, man, and could really use his services. Up in that Bay Area, the team that's about to open the new Chase Center, the team that people have said that the dynasty is over in the Golden State Warriors. Melo would be a great pickup for them, and here's why. They have a good culture. They have a very good foundation, good organization. You have players in their prime in Steph, Clay, and Draymond. You have D'Angelo Russell there. You have Willie Cauley-Stein there. They just signed Steph Curry's brother-in-law, who's married to Seidel Curry. I think it would be a good piece for Melo, man. They need bench scoring. Remember, the sacrifice that Kevin Durant coming there, they lost a lot of depth. And then you lost your best player in Kevin Durant. The Warriors are very thin, pretty much everywhere. They lost Sean Livingston, they lost Andre Iguodala, they lost Damian Jones, they lost Jordan Bell. That's a lot of pieces. They lost DeMarcus Cousins. It's a lot of pieces the Warriors lost. So I think bringing in a guy like Carmelo would really help them. Maybe he's not going to be great defensively, and people are like, well, the Warriors aren't going to be great at defensively because D'Angelo doesn't defend, and they have a very undersized backcourt and all that. I get all that. Maybe they're not going to be a great defensive team. But we can't sit here and act like the Warriors can't compete, because they can. They're not going to win a championship anytime soon, but they could still compete. And adding Melo to that organization, adding them to the bench would be great, because he gives them a scoring punch that they really haven't had pretty much not ever, because if you remember the Golden State bench, they had multiple guys that could get you baskets, multiple guys that had to shoot the ball. But you're talking about a guy who could give you double-digit scoring off the bench, like in the mid-teens, 14 to 16 a game from Melo off the bench. I think would be great. It's just with Melo, he just has to eliminate the ISOs, the post-ups, like the face-up game, the mid-range. He can still shoot the mid-range, but it's got to come within the flow of the offense. And he's going to have to make more threes now, more than he's ever had in his career, especially off the catch and shoot. And Melo's not really a catch and shoot player. So that's another adjustment he's going to have to make. And so if Melo is going to, again, be in the NBA, he has to adjust his game and realize, I am not the player that I once had. I think he's humble enough to know that now that he went on ESPN to give his clever rant about how out of 30 teams in the league, he can't make a 15-man roster. And once again, Stephen A said there's a lot, 70% of the league are scrubs. You see what I'm saying? And Stephen A is a biased fanboy. Sometimes Stephen A can be objective, sometimes. But for the most part, he acts like a fanboy. So those are the two teams that I think would benefit Carmelo the most. Let me know what you guys think of any other teams that would be better suitable for Melo if he were to get a job back in the NBA. But those are the two that came off the top of my head. The Toronto Raptors, and they're also in the East, so it would help. And it would take some pressure off of Pascal Siakam. And then Golden State, another guy who could take the pressure off of Steph and D'Angelo. So, I look at those two teams. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Loops with another one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching the video. DJ, you already know for my subs, man. Hit that damn.